What was life like growing up in the East End in the 50s?
Very exciting. Very exciting. There was a lot going on. I was Teddy girl in my teens, and followed like Bill Haley in the comics and Little Richard, and dressed accordingly.
Yeah, so what did you wear?
I made mostly my own clothes. I'd have those, stick out skirts with all the netting underneath. They'd absolutely rip your legs to shreds because they were so starched. And also, I always did my hair. I've always been a hair fanatic. And at one time I went to the point of looking like Morticia out the Addams Family walking about. I'm quite pale really, so it looked pretty stark, But I've always been a bit of a... I think if I was younger I'd have piercings and tattoos and goodness knows what else. I've always been a bit of a...
Did you ever actually see Bill Haley in concert?
No, I never saw him, but I followed every film that came out. I was there, bought his music. My mother, I'd had a radiogram, a dance set record player thing. And my mother would come home and turn that noise. She could hear me out in the street, because I'd have it full blast. I've still got Bill Haley LPs and stuff, and Little Richard and Buddy Holly, stuff like that. Elvis, and then I went on to Elvis Presley. Then I went on to ska and all that sort of stuff. And reggae.
In the 50s, did you go to dances? Or?
Yeah, because in those days it was house parties. Especially in this area, you had a lot in Downs Park Road. They'd be open like Friday night till Sunday, and you buy your drinks inside, and they'd charge an entrance fee, and you could stay there forever.
In the house?
In the house. Bottom of the house, they'd open out the basements.
For dancing?
Yeah, for dancing.
Wow.
Until the police raided them, and then that was another matter. But, things was different in those days. You didn't find people going around with knives and all the rest of it. It was nice.
So it was obviously post-war and people are beginning to sort of let their hair down a bit.
Yeah.
What was life like, apart from the dancing? Was it...
I worked in a factory when I left school, 1955. I left school. And I worked in a factory, a tailoring, as a machinist. And there was a lot of us employed, lots of girls, all around about that age. And you could leave a job now and go into another job in the afternoon, I could have 3 jobs in one day if I wanted it, just jumping from one job to the other. And the reason I went into this particular factory, because I had gone to a technical college, but Mum needed me to go to work another year and I would have gone on with a proper job, But Mum wanted the money because being the eldest, so I went into this factory because it was a bit more money than my friends were earning. £3 old money, 7 and 6 pence per hour. Per hour. So that was at about £4.25, something like that, That's rubbish, Maureen. What are you saying? £3, 7 and 6. I can't work it out, 7 and 6 was about £1.50. That was it really. I stayed there and went on from factory to factory. Then I worked for my sister. She had a public house. Then I went into an office, and that was the last job before I got ill and couldn't work,